is stunning.
Yeah.
This hangs in our home, and many people would find that possibly quite intimidating, but there's something very calm about it and very natural, and there's a gentle smile on her face.
You do feel presided over, don't you?
We do, yes.
Elizabeth II was photographed tens of thousands of times, yet she sat for comparatively few painted portraits, which is why so many of the painted images that hang in clubs and consulates were built up from a photograph rather than a live sitting. The grandest exception, Pietro Annigoni's portrait of 1955, became one of the most reproduced royal images of the century. A quieter picture like this one belongs to a humbler tradition, the affectionate likeness, made to be lived with rather than exhibited.
In 2000, age 94, she was a very reclusive character, actually, and hid her light under a bushel all her life.
Really?
And it would be with the greatest embarrassment if she saw this today. But the time has come really to reveal her true talent again.
But she was a photographer first. This is her camera, isn't it?
She was, yes. Yeah. She was a society and royal photographer with the famous Dorothy Wilding studio, which started...
What prices a picture like this is rarely the sitter but the signature. A royal subject widens the appeal, yet without a major painter's name attached, even a fine likeness of the Queen trades in the low thousands, sentiment and subject doing the work, not an auction record.
So that's got to all help. I would have thought that it's got to be worth between £4,000 and £6,000. Not a huge amount, but I wouldn't be at all surprised if there are monarchists all over the Commonwealth who would like to own this. It's such a...
Yes. Now, they're quite heavy objects. Yes. And I have to admit, I did have a little sneak underneath both of them just earlier on.
This kind of brightly coloured glazed pottery made its public debut at the Great Exhibition of 1851, where Minton showed it to a crowd of 6 million and started a craze. The man behind the glazes was Leon Arnoux, the firm's French art director, who spent years perfecting the rich translucent colours that make the surface seem almost wet. There was a darker side. Those glazes were loaded with lead, and the paintresses who applied them were among the factory workers whose slow poisoning the Victorians only gradually came to recognise.
Like a ware from Italian wares of the Renaissance period, but this is straight out of China, really, isn't it?
Yes, it is, yes.
It's basically a Chinese wood urn stand, but done in pottery.
Yes.
With these wonderful cabriole legs and this typical chinoiserie apron here. This is actually dated 1875.
Yes.
But this urn, which is in completely... Right, 2 pieces of Minton majolica ware, 1875, 1877. This one, just to frighten you, is probably worth somewhere between £3,000 and £5,000.
Yes.
Yeah. And this one with the damage is probably worth somewhere between £4,000 and £7,000.
Gracious. A lot of money.
Even more frightening than they were before.
Yes. So you'll have to be insured then.
Oh, yes.
You've watched hundreds of these moments. The ordinary object. The jaw-dropping value. But here's the question we never ask: what's sitting in your home? You don't have to wait for the roadshow to come to your town. In seconds, Velco tells you what it is, when it was made, and what it could be worth. It's like having the roadshow in your pocket. Open the App Store and search Velco. VELQO. Or point your phone at the screen. You might be sitting on a fortune.
When I bought this book here, I think that was about 3 years ago. And when I was reading it, I found that this guy here, James Bond, I'm not sure whether that was the inspiration for the James Bond character. And that is what I wanted to know.
That's what you want to know? Yeah. Well, James Bond was an American ornithologist.
Right.
And he'd written the field guide to the birds of the West Indies. Ian Fleming liked to go to the West Indies. Yeah. So there was a link, and Ian Fleming had read James Bond's book.
Ian Fleming wrote this story in just a few weeks early in 1952, at his Golden Eye house on the Jamaican coast. Jonathan Cape printed only 4,728 first edition copies, and because nobody yet knew the name Bond, most were simply read to pieces.
Picking up at car boot sales, they tend to put them in cardboard boxes on damp ground, and the damp comes through. Like there's 1 or 2. I think there's that one there.
What, Diamonds Are Forever?
Yeah, the edge went because it was in a damp box.
Yes, you can see there's a bit of damage, and that in terms of the first edition, that makes a crucial amount of difference.
Right, okay.
And this would have been worth a few £100s, and it's probably reduced its value to more like 2 or 3 with the damage on the edges here. Dr. No's another very good one, which is now worth about £300 or £400. Altogether, on this table, excluding Casino Royale, we've probably got in excess of £2,000 worth.
Condition is everything with this book. A first edition still in its bright dust jacket, crisp and unfaded, has sold for many times tonight's estimate. Strip away that fragile paper wrapper and the same edition can struggle past a few £100s. A boot sale stack, handled and shelved for years, sits in the middle, which is exactly where the appraiser's figure lands.
What about if I told you it was worth a few £1,000s?
Thousands?
Yes.
Yes, I would be a little bit shocked, actually.
You would be a little bit shocked, wouldn't you?
I would, yeah.
And if I said to you that recently it's been fetching between £5,000 and £7,000 at auction?
Never.
And you say you bought it at a boot sale?
Yeah.
Wow. Do you remember how much you paid for it?
I can't, actually. Most of the books cost between 50 pence and £1.
Well, there's a return for you.
Why did you think that?
Well, they were given to my mother many years ago, and I don't really know the history of either of them.
And who gave them to your mother?
My father.
So what interests me is that these jewels are so different.
Yes, yes. Well, this was given to my mother as a 25th wedding anniversary ring.
And when was that?
That was in 1974.
Okay.
And the necklace was just a general present that my father gave my mother.
And do you remember your mother? It's in silver and gold.
Right.
And it didn't start off like this.
Right.
It was actually a pair of earrings. Nevertheless, it is stunning and it's beautiful.
Thank you.
But my eye suddenly went on this one.
Right.
And when I opened the box, my heart jumped.
Really? Right.
Because this is, as we see in the lining of the box, it says John Donald. Now, he was such an important person in the 60s. After the Second World War and the austerity years, jewellery design was pretty grim. There was nothing innovative.
Donald belonged to a small band of British designers, Andrew Gremer and David Thomas among them, who tore up the rulebook after a landmark exhibition of modern jewellery at Goldsmiths Hall in London in 1961. Their signature was texture, gold left rough and crystalline, as though it had grown rather than been polished, with the stone set to look almost accidental. A signed piece from that circle, still in its fitted box, is exactly what today's design-led collectors chase.
I would say at auction you'd be looking around about £3,000.
Right.
And this ring here, which I really love, at auction that would be between £5,000 to £7,000.
Right. Keep that safe. Wow.
You're the custodian of a jewel that really changed the history of modern contemporary jewellery in the UK.
Gosh, that's amazing. So thank you very, very much. Appreciate that.
Thank you. And what also caught my attention as well, apart from your wonderful stone, is the original receipt that you brought too. And it's dated 1963 and it cost £635. Now, who was that who bought it?
It was my father, for my mother. Yes.
The shape of the stone dates it as surely as the receipt does. Before the modern round brilliant took over, diamonds were cut by hand into rounded early 20th century styles with a taller crown, made to glow warmly under candlelight rather than blaze under electric light. Marcel Tolkowski set down the mathematics of the ideal modern brilliant in 1919. And within a generation these older hand-cut stones had all but vanished, which is exactly why collectors seek them out today. That 1963 receipt is the quiet revelation here. £635 sounds trivial now, but adjusted for inflation it is well over £17,000 in today's money, so the valuation is, in real terms, less than the family first paid. A reminder that a fine diamond is a keepsake first and an investment second, holding its beauty far longer than its price.
And it, what we call sort of a circular cut diamond. In its mount, I have approximated the weight of it, and it's approximately about 2.3 carats. And I love these cuts, these 1920s cuts. I just find really, really special. So, conservatively, I would say at auction you would be looking in the region of around £7,000 to £9,000.
Before you go, a quick word that could save you from a costly mistake. Every week, treasures like the ones you just watched are sold at car boot and yard sales for pennies by people who simply didn't know what they had. Don't let that be you. With Velco, just snap a photo of anything in your home, and in seconds you'll know what it really is and what it's really worth. And it's completely free. Point your phone's camera at the code on screen now, or search the App Store for Velco, the V-E-L-Q-O-N-O before you let it go.